When you think of Korean esports, what's the first thing that pops into your head? This? For most of us, it's StarCraft, the RTS that defined an entire generation and kicked off the esports boom. But did you know that StarCraft 2 almost wasn't played in Korea? For years, competitive StarCraft in Korea was broadcasted on two major television channels, OnGameNet or OGN, which ran the OnGameNet Star League, and MBC Game, which ran the MBC Game Star League. These two channels also broadcasted Pro League, which was focused on a teams format. All of these leagues were affiliated with the organization KeSPA, which effectively had full control over Korea's professional scene, determined how tournaments were run, and who could broadcast what. With this symbiotic relationship, the OSL and MSL were the two kingpins of Korean StarCraft for years. But that would change when the broadcast channel, GOMTV, launched the GOMTV Classic in 2008. Prior to the start of the league, GOMTV hosted a 16-player invitational to draw fans to the new channel, focusing on international fans by becoming the first Korean event to feature live English shoutcasting courtesy of Tasteless and later Super Daniel Man.
Hopefully we get a lot of hits. I'm really hoping that these Koreans will see how much people like StarCraft outside of Korea, since Korea is kind of in a microcosm right now in esports. And I want to show them that there are other people out there across the globe that want to see this game, see this beautiful sport. And I want to share that with everybody.
Having an accessible stream for Western audiences was a recipe for success, and GOMTV's first two seasons were immensely successful. Going into June of 2009, GOMTV was sponsored by Blizzard to host an event worth 50 million won, roughly 30,000 USD. With all this momentum behind them, as the league was heading into its third season, tragedy struck as 4 teams withdrew their players from the league. After scrambling to fill the vacant spots and keep the tournaments running, 3 more teams would withdraw their players at the conclusion of Season 3, which ultimately resulted in the league shutting down completely. Overnight, they went from one of the hottest streaming services in StarCraft with the sponsorship from Blizzard to having 7 teams withdraw in a single season and ceasing operations. What the heck happened? The official reason given by teams was that GOMTV was overworking its players, but behind the scenes, it actually had to do with their Blizzard partnership. You see, unlike OSL and MSL, GOMTV was not partnered with KeSPA, who previously had a monopoly on the StarCraft Brood War Pro scene. It was an open secret that KeSPA pressured teams to withdraw from GOMTV as a way of punishing them for partnering with Blizzard. After all, KeSPA not only controlled tournament and match operations, they also owned broadcasting rights to Pro League, which they licensed out to OGN and MBC. Allowing a third party to sneak in would hurt their revenue stream. Wait. Surrounding this scandal, Blizzard began to take issue with KeSPA's actions and felt that it violated Blizzard's ownership rights as the creators of StarCraft. Blizzard tried to work together with KeSPA to find a middle ground, but KeSPA turned them down, feeling as though Blizzard only wanted to take a piece out of the pie KeSPA had baked. So when Blizzard began working with GOMTV, KeSPA asked affiliated teams to withdraw from the league and effectively killed their only competition to maintain their monopoly. While all of this was happening behind the scenes, as Brood War neared the end of its life cycle, this incident was kept mostly under wraps. It wasn't until 2010, with the release of StarCraft 2, that tension between KeSPA and Blizzard started heating up publicly. In February of 2010, Blizzard president Mike Morhaime wanted to host a small private event in Korea where the pros could try out a beta version of StarCraft 2 ahead of its release in July. However, the event was cancelled after most teams decided to turn down the invitation, which Blizzard Korea attributed to scheduling issues. In reality, according to an anonymous source, the real reason was that Blizzard invited teams individually rather than going through KeSPA, which was seen as an attempt to create division between not just KeSPA and the teams, but between the teams themselves. The anonymous source saying, quote, Blizzard Korea doesn't want to recognize KeSPA as a negotiations partner regarding intellectual rights, but that's not the right way to think about it. KeSPA was created together by the teams, and KeSPA is essentially the teams themselves. Eventually, Blizzard decided that enough was enough, and on April 25th, announced that they were putting an end to negotiations with KeSPA and would begin looking elsewhere for a new partner. While KeSPA continued to publicly blame Blizzard for their failure to come to an agreement, Blizzard was quick to move on and just a month later announced that they would be entering another partnership with GOMTV, giving the broadcasting channel exclusive rights to broadcast esports matches for all Blizzard titles for the next 3 years, which meant that OGN and MBC had to quickly negotiate for broadcasting rights if they wanted OSL and MSL to continue being broadcasted. While the various channels worked together to negotiate broadcasting rights, KeSPA continued to find ways to oppose Blizzard using whatever power they still had. First, they pressured the South Korean Games Rating Board to restrict StarCraft 2 to adults only, which delayed the release of the game in Korea as Blizzard had to submit a new version of the game that recolored blood and removed vulgar language from cutscenes.
We expect them very soon.
Next, while GOMTV and Blizzard quickly launched their own competitive league, GSL,
welcome to the GSL. I am Tasteless, and with me is Artosis. A new chapter in esports history is about to occur.
Many notable names were missing, as all KeSPA affiliated players were banned from competing in StarCraft 2 tournaments, or even playing the game at all. But the Iron Wall of KeSPA couldn't hold out forever. As players' contracts with teams ended, some notable Brood Wars pros began to make the move over to StarCraft 2. July, Nada, and Boxer all went on to compete in the qualifiers for GSL Season 2. Heading into 2012, the writing was on the wall. MSL shut down, and 3 KeSPA-affiliated teams, NBC Game Hero, We Made Fox, and Hwaseong Oz, all disbanded. With their position weakened, in March 2012, KeSPA was open to discussions again with Blizzard about broadcasting StarCraft 2 events. While KeSPA's return to the fold would be beneficial for the scene's growth, it was clear that they wouldn't be in the same position of power they were with StarCraft Brood War. To further ensure this, the Esports Federation was formed by the 9 non-KeSPA teams that were evolved in the competitive StarCraft 2 scene from the start. So while KeSPA's conflict with Blizzard and GOMTV would come to an end on May 2nd, 2012, which was when the 3 parties held a press conference to announce KeSPA's official transition into StarCraft 2, KeSPA's desire for control over the scene would cause problems one last time. While the initial months of KeSPA's involvement in StarCraft 2 went fairly smoothly, KeSPA decided to make another power play on August 23rd, when GOMTV announced that KeSPA had decided against allowing its players to compete in the upcoming preliminaries for GSL Season 4. This time around though, KeSPA was quickly criticized by everyone. Fans, affiliated teams, the players they represented who wanted to compete in the tournament. The public outcry was loud and clear, and teams in the Esports Federation countered by announcing that they would be pulling their players from the ongoing first season of OSL in order to protect GOMTV from suffering the same fate as it did in Brood War. After all, half of the players scheduled to compete in the upcoming round of 16 were Esports Federation affiliated players, and KeSPA quickly walked back their decision and announced that it would allow its players to compete in the 5th season of GSL. But that wasn't good enough, and the Esports Federation stuck to their guns until KeSPA completely repealed their original decision and allowed players to compete in GSL Season 4. Since then, the Korean StarCraft scene has been relatively drama-free, at least when it comes to conflict between its various associations and broadcast channels. Today, GSL has stuck around as the only major StarCraft 2 league in Korea, but it's unclear how long that will last, especially since Blizzard has dropped support for the competitive scene. Looking back, you have to wonder how big StarCraft 2 could have become, and what the scene would look like today if KeSPA and Blizzard had quickly come to an agreement and resolved their conflicts outright. Would the scene that's now on life support still be thriving, along with the revived Brood War scene? Or would they have suffered the same fate at the hands of Father Time? If you liked this video about StarCraft 2, check out this one we made about a StarCraft tournament that tried to sabotage the best player in the world. Shouts out to Cloud, Steph, B, Pass, Shampoo, and Yashichi for being patrons of the channel. If you enjoyed this video, leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell to stay up to date is much appreciated. My name is Jonah, thanks for watching.